Hello students, this is Mr. Moreno with a short video, an introduction to revising personal essays.
Cuando canto mi canción.
Alright, let's get going here. We will be discussing my philosophy, we will discuss the writing process, we will introduce what a writing workshop would look like. So to start, what is writing? Well, here you are writing a personal statement about your life. Some stranger is going to read it at the university, and based on that document, they will either judge you worthy of being in their university or possibly not worthy of being in their university. Writing is what our task is here. And what is writing? Well, it's a communication between people, a communication between beings. It is the most powerful thing that we have as humans. It's the way that my mind and your mind communicate. It's the way that you know what's in someone's heart, what's in someone's guts. Writing is the most powerful technology that we have. And why? Why is it so important? Because with a pen or a pencil or whatever mechanism you have available to you, your instrument, you're able to hold thoughts forever. They don't disappear. When you and I talk, the words come from my mind, they come out as air from my mouth, and then they're lost to forever. But writing's different. You put it on stone, you put it on paper, it's powerful. It's what binds humans. So, personal statements. Here I am, and my goal is to help you draft a text to reveal who you are. I can't write it for you. That's not my job. I'm here to help you. I'm here to encourage you for your text. So, we have my little speech about how it's the most powerful tool I think we have. Here's an image of an illustrated Bible. You have the word erat verbum, which means there was the word. And so it is probably from one of the most beautiful manuscripts that we have. And it means there was the word. And so it is just a powerful thing, writing. So I'm here to talk to you about your personal statements. And we have to start by being honest with each other. And if you're coming to me early, that's best, of course. We have time for major revisions. And you'll see what I mean in the next couple slides. If you come here and we're talking late, October, then we don't have time for major revisions, and so we will focus on minor revisions. What does this mean? Late, early? Well, if you are a junior, or here we are in August and September, then we have time for complete rewrites. What do I mean? Well, oftentimes students are spending most of their time working on what topic that they're going to be writing about. The number one problem I have when I get personal statements is that 90% of their text is a story. It tells what happened in the student's life. And only 10% talks about the effects that that event had on your life. So the number one problem I see is that students have to rewrite 90% of their text. If we're early, you have time to rewrite it. Personal statements are only one for the common application, so you have time to draft it. For the UCs, you have the PIQs, which are 4, but they're shorter. So if you are here, well, at least if you have a month to write, you have plenty of time. If you're coming to us late, and if you're coming to us in October, now you have less than a month. And we don't have time for major revisions. You can't go back and redo your text. We only have time possibly to have minor revisions. We'll talk about what that means. So, forever you've been writing. Your English teachers will pull out their essays, prompts, and say, today class we're starting the writing process. Just a quick review on how I use these words. You already know them, but it's just a refresher. First of all, we have 4 major stages. We have drafting, where you are revising and editing up to 100% of your text. Oftentimes I say it's time to rewrite. Number 2, we have revisions, and we get stuck between major revisions and minor revisions. There's a big difference. As I said earlier, if we're here early, we do have time to do major revisions. Why? Because that is changing, rewriting, or even throwing away between 80 to 50% of your essay. That's more than half. So you're early, we got time. Minor revisions, when we have less time, then I get the text and I think, okay, well, we have about a week to finish this. We can't rewrite the whole thing, so let's go ahead and change the 20%, less than 50%, that is most important. That is going to help you get where you need to get to. In that time, we also might be able to do some editing. When you are editing, you're only changing something like 10%. And at the end, you're publishing, you are really only changing maybe even less than 1%. What does this mean for you? You will be spending most of your time rewriting and writing. This is the drafting stage before it even gets to us as teachers. Once you and I are talking, we will be spending a lot of time in this major revision section. I want you to focus on what it means to draft, what it means to have major revisions. When you're drafting, you're rewriting most of your text. You're often changing topics, writing about a new topic, trying to zero in on an event. Maybe that's not the event to talk about. As I said earlier, most of the time students come to me and they write an essay about an event, and they don't write what the event did to them, inspired them, motivated them. And so after our first meeting, I tell students, 1 paragraph about the event, and then the rest of it is on your reflection on how it impacted you. So once that's taken care of, students will often come back and we can talk about revisions and major revisions, where you're actually rewriting not the whole text because you already have established your purpose and your topic, but now we have maybe a shift in direction. So as I said, between 80 and 50%, you are revising paragraphs. You are rewriting paragraphs. Now to the end here, for minor revisions. We have already drafted. We have already done our major revisions. Now we are doing our minor revisions. So at this stage, our work is not dealing with paragraphs, but is dealing with sentences and phrases. 20 to 50% of the text gets changed. We're actually starting to look closer at the text. Last but not least, editing. We are again at the sentence level, but now we're looking at diction. Specific words. How does it sound if I use this word? How does it sound if I use the other word? And then at the very end, you have spell check and font selection. And can you submit it? Are you going to do a PDF? That's at the very end for publishing. All right, so you've come to a teacher. And here's Mr. Moreno's writing workshop method. How do we revise together? Step 1, we talk. A little bit of small talk, kind of breaks the ice. We explore your topic. What are your goals? What college do you want to go to? What do you want to be when you grow up? There's a lot of brainstorming here. We also talk about your time frame. Are you giving this to us in September or October? Makes a big difference. Tells me, okay, what can we do? I'm always asking myself, can we do major revisions? Step 2, and this is something that might be a little strange. I ask you to read your text to me. As you're reading, you are able to fix a lot of the mistakes that you see, and B, it gives me the freedom to take notes so that I can give you feedback. Finally, I offer feedback. I try to limit my feedback to two or three things for me to share with you about what you can do to make it better and what I see that's good. That's our process. We talk, you read, and I take notes, and then we talk about what you can do to make it better. If you are emailing me a document, I read it, offer suggestions. It doesn't really go very far. So, last thing I want to say, personal statements are personal. Oftentimes, we are stuck here in this redrafting most of the text stage. Why is that? Oftentimes, the things that you are writing that are important to you are those things that are really deep in your hearts. Sometimes they're a little bit uncomfortable to talk about. And so oftentimes what I've come to realize is that these personal statement writing sessions are in a way a catharsis. It's looking at the scabs that you have, and if they are real painful still, sometimes, it's hard to write. But it's good because the more that you're able to reflect and talk about these things that happen to us, then the more equipped you are to handle them, to deal with them, to face those things that are often monsters. And so I guess what I'm going to say is that as you bring your work to us, at least how I view it, I see your work as sacred and holy. You're sharing this powerful event that happened to you, how it changed you. And I am quite honored to read your text and to work with you on your text. And as you begin writing, revising, editing, and meeting with your teachers, I do have this one thing that I would like you to remember, and that's whether you get in or not to college, that's all fine and great. Of course, we want you to get in, but where you go to college is not going to make who you are. It didn't make who I was. It's not going to make who you are. And so I would like your stress level to be at a medium. Be at a medium. No panics. No panics. No panicking. Well, with that, that's all I have to say to you. We will have more little videos here. And I end here with this little quote about you to inspire you for your writing. Human minds yield helplessly to the suction of story. No matter how hard we concentrate, no matter how deep we dig in our heels, humans can't resist the gravity of alternate worlds. Good luck, my students.